Good morning, everyone. This is Jill Raven Stevenson of Juniper Sage. I'm out here this morning. This beautiful group of deer have just gone by, and I was kind of waiting for the energy to settle because our neighbor's dog decided she'd like to join that pack. Anyway, so the energy's a little bit more settled right now. I felt it was a good time to come out and kind of continue our conversation around choice. And it's really up for me right now as I'm doing these videos is why am I choosing certain things, and what does it give me, and what is it distracting me from, and in that distraction, what am I afraid of? So it's very interesting because we're definitely here in America, my perception is we're going through kind of an identity, I don't know if crisis is the right word, but it can feel like that right now. Or, we're breaking down our identity of who we are and who we are in the world. And the world is watching us and having their own response to that. And again, that's just my perception of what I feel is going on. And it kind of matches me a little bit. Like I feel my own identity has so much crisis. I feel myself kind of seeking a little bit for who am I? What am I? Kind of that kind of energy a little bit going on. And remembering to allow. So I think it was about a year ago now, I was in a session with a beautiful woman that comes to see me. And that message kind of came out of our session together and is, don't seek, allow. And sometimes things in sessions come and I forget, like, oh my gosh, that was a piece of wisdom that can serve anybody that's there. So just like if it's just a one-on-one session or if it's in a workshop and things come out. So that includes myself. So I've been realizing I've been seeking and not allowing for things to emerge. And yesterday when we were going over the idea of choices and allowing things to kind of emerge from that, we talked about the two choices, and at the end of my conversation, I could feel that third energy coming in. Sometimes we have these two choices, and they're setting up the environment for something completely different to come through, or some kind of collaboration, which we kind of worked with yesterday, that can come through and kind of be that choice that really does serve our highest good and highest path of potential at that certain point in our life. So I wanted to kind of go over, there are tools that can help us move into that emergence. Yesterday we worked with kind of that meditative, imaginary realm of getting to know the energy of grace. And that can we sit in grace between two choices. And today we're going to go over just a little bit of thought moment, of like a little thought bubble moment of what's in our toolbox. So when choices come up, a lot of different feelings can come up. So our feelings of fear, anxiety, excitement, love, peace, this adrenaline rush of yes, that's held in the yes, or this kind of sit back energy of no, that isn't for you. So it brings up these pieces. And one of the most powerful tools to center ourselves is the grace of grounding. So I'm going to take us through today a grounding tool, and also within that grounding tool, how to kind of access that space we talked about between two choices through a drawing exercise. So we'll go into, or I think we'll go outside my studio today and do a little bit of that. So between now and then, just having a moment and thinking about what's in your toolbox. to access when you're in the moment of choice. So for me, in my toolbox, I have my breath. I like to do some breath work. I do yoga before I make a decision sometimes. I draw. I write. I go into a surrendering meditation, and I do a grounding. So those are some of my little tools when I'm working with choices. So what are some of your tools? So letting yourself kind of ponder that for a moment. So we're kind of settling in, and I'm going to take you through that grounding tool. So I don't know if you notice, if you've been noticing, but I have a tree that my yellow chair sits behind. And so I like to sit with my tree. And she's such a grace of helping me remember my roots, like my base. Whether it's the base of my tailbone or the bottoms of my feet. So it kind of helps me get into my body a little bit. And I like to use her or access her wisdom and the way that she operates, right? So she moves energy up to the top of her tree, the top of limbs of her tree, and then down deep into her roots, right? She has this continuingly flow of energy that goes up and back down, right? And that's how she accesses and maintains her vitality. So it's kind of the same like this, and many of you are listening to this that have done grounding meditation. A tree is a very common vessel to experience grounding. And if you haven't, this might be your first time. So what we're going to do is just take 3 beautiful breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. And allowing our mind to rest as there's no decision to make right now. And then to allow ourselves to feel kind of that gravity, the gift of gravity, and feeling that the gravity is asking to put all of our awareness down into our tailbone. Right? So we'll take 3 breaths doing that. Just imagine so I'm kind of imagining all this weight is coming down into my tailbone. So let's do that together. 3 beautiful breaths. Little bird. And under our tailbone, there's many different ways we can enter into grounding, deeper into the day, deeper into the earth. And that's to use the spiral. So we're going to imagine that we're on the outside of the spiral and we're kind of spiraling down into a comfortable place into our day, a comfortable place into the earth. So as if we can feel the tailbone, the energy there begin to gently spiral down into the earth with 3 beautiful breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. And then as if that tailbone, that energy that's in the tailbone, that energy of the day, that kind of settling in, that presence energy, is moving all the way down that spiral to join the very tip of it. And just feel like your awareness now is at the tip of that spiral that's now resting into the day, that's resting into the earth. Now, the only actionable item in this moment is to just release that energy as if it makes a complete circle around you, like an orb of light. Making that boundary of this is my space to be in, to receive from, to put into motion from, to respond from. This moment of just being grounded into your day, into the earth. You're going to release that energy into a beautiful sacred circle around you. You're at the center of it. And then just feel for the moment this beautiful statement, which is, I have everything, I have access to everything I need for the day. And then let yourself grab, you're gonna watch me do this in in my little journal that I have. So it doesn't have to be in an art journal. It could be a loose piece of paper. It could be a back of an envelope. Doesn't matter. You'll just need this and a pen, and I'll meet you over at my little table. So let yourself kind of feel this, right? And then we'll reconnect in a moment here, and we'll continue with this very sweet, simple exercise. All right. I've been painting a little soul light portrait. This was sitting here, so I thought, oh, that's so pretty. Put that on there. All right. So let's reconnect. So all of our energy we've gathered it into our tailbone. We've released it through a spiral motion down into the earth. And then we carried the essence of that, our day's energy, our grounding presence to the tip of that spiral, and then we released it as if it creates a circle around us. So it's like we're at the point of this circle, right? And what we're going to do for about 2 minutes, you'll watch me do this, maybe not quite 2 minutes, is I'm going to use a simple shape. I'm going to put it up here first. I'm just going to use a simple leaf shape. And I'm going to make a path, a spiral path out onto my page. So we'll do this for about 2 minutes. Now, there's all kinds of ideas of, do I go clockwise? Do I go counterclockwise? Just go with, in this moment, your intuitive, what you're attracted to, your intuitive part of you. So I'm just going to start here. Going to make this very simple little spiral for about 2 minutes. Just using as, some of us doesn't have to be perfect. Each shape doesn't need to be perfect. You can keep going if you would like. Fill up your whole page with this. When you kind of feel I'm complete, do a few more. Sometimes our mind wants to end before our body does or our heart does. Just do a few more. Very loose. Not looking for everything to be perfect. And then all you write down here at the bottom is today I choose peace. Peaceful movement. Restful movement. Joyful connections. So this is what I choose. So you can see how you can do this every day, right? So tomorrow we're going to work with a little deeper. We're going to work with one of my tools that I call smash booking that I learned from somebody and kind of adapted into one of my self-care practices. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. It's a completion of working with the energy of choice. So let's just recap this for a moment as we took that moment of not looking at our choices for the day, but creating the space in between my choices, right? To allow whatever is for my highest good and my highest path of potential to guide my choices for the day, right? And how I did that is I grounded through my tailbone, the roots of myself, into my day, into my into the earth, through that path of the spiral. And then I release the energy of the day into my sphere, into my container of my day. That container means this is all that I'm responsible for. This is helping me discern what is mine and what is not mine. And then I walked myself into my day through that simple shape, right? Leaf shape or seed shape, feather shape. And I walked myself into my space. When I felt that rhythmic completion, I'm declaring where I'm resourcing today. So today I choose peace. Peaceful movement, restful movement, joyful connections. And this is my guiding light for the day. So when I feel anxiety or fear, I can either reread this, I could retrace over this, right? It doesn't take very long, even just for a little bit. Meaning I could come in here, even with a different color, use this tool to help me stay connected to my choices until I feel that beautiful today I choose. Another statement you could put in here just to kind of extend that is in the moment I choose. So for me, I'm going to keep this outside my studio door. And as I'm moving from moment to moment, I have this habit of thinking I got to find out what's going on in the world. So I feel very isolated here. I can come back to use this tool and reconnect with the energy of my day. All right, you guys, enjoy this process.